Greetings, friends. It's Zager Sirius, and I'm here today to talk about astral projection and lucid dreaming for a little bit. I've had 3 experiences. The third one's tough to classify. Let me go over the first 2 first. The first one, I was about 14 years old, heavily into the occult and all kinds of new age subjects at the time, and I had a book on astral projection. I don't remember the name of it or the author. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago, but I'm sure there's tons and tons of books out there on the subject, and if you select one, just use good judgment and go with your instincts, what feels right to you. If, something doesn't seem right, then, just don't go with it. So the technique I used, I kind of combined 2 different techniques. I had a book that had like 12 different techniques in it. And what I did was I combined 2 different ones because no particular one worked for me. So I combined 2 into my own method. One was like just a deep breathing, like yogic breathing. You just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and it's much slower than that. But and then with that, at the same time that I was doing that, you also envision yourself being enveloped in kind of like an aura. You can pick whatever color you want: blue, red, green. I say aura, but not really aura. Kind of like a force field or something. So you start at the top of your head and you imagine this color spreading down through your body, starting at the top of your head, going all the way down through your neck, through your arms, your torso, down through your legs, all the way down to your toes. And you do it very gradually and slowly as you're doing the breathing at the same time. And when you get to the end, you also want to start to imagine yourself lifting up. Now, you're doing this while you're laying in bed with loose-fitting clothes. You don't want anything too tight, no tight sheets or anything. You want to be comfortable and don't be like wrapped up too tight, have just things loose around you. You're laying in bed. As you get down to the force field that you're envisioning, whatever color you like gets down to your toes, imagine yourself just slowly lifting up, like a feather on a breeze being lifted by air or whatever. And if you do it right and you really concentrate, some people will actually, they've claimed that they've left their body, they can look back, they feel themselves like rising up out of their body, and they look back down and see their body laying there. They've gone and visited other people and saw things and then described it to them the next day, and the person's like, how did you know you weren't there? And so these things have happened to lots and lots of people. And there's actually the experience that I had when I was like 14 was unlike any dream or any other type of experience I've ever had. I'm going to try to use an analogy or the best words I can to describe it, but again, it was just basically unlike any other experience, so there really aren't proper words to describe it. It was kind of like being in a gymnasium and wandering around in pitch black darkness, can't see anything, and wandering around with your hands out and just kind of exploring and finding your way, and you can't see. Okay, that's kind of what it was like. Now, obviously, I didn't have a physical body, so I was feeling with like my psychic senses or whatever, not my hands. But wandering around in just total pitch blackness and just trying to find my way. Couldn't see anything. Now, normally in a dream, you see things. You have a setting. You see faces, you see people. It's kind of like day-to-day life a little bit. But this was nothing like that. And I came upon an entity, like a dark entity that I could just tell it was much bigger than me. It was very angry that I was in its presence. I called it an astral ogre at the time because I just couldn't think of a better term. So I got very scared when I came across this entity. It got very angry and pissed off that I was there in its presence and just, I don't know, wanted to like harm me or threaten me. And so I got scared and kind of like paralyzed for a little bit. Eventually, I did snap out of it and wake up, and I was in my own bed again. But it was kind of a frightening experience. So you do want to protect yourself when you're doing astral projection. Use some crystals, have some nearby, on a nightstand near your bed or whatever, or in your pockets. Maybe do a mantra before, whatever you use, okay? If it's burning incense, lavender, whatever it is that you do for protection, do it. Because you are vulnerable in that state to psychic attack by dark entities. So again, read up on the subject, only pick books that you trust, and try different techniques, because no one technique is going to work for everyone. It's going to be different for everybody. So that was my first experience. Now, my second experience was very, very personal. It was much later in life. The first one, I was just a teenager. I wrote a philosophy paper on that, by the way, and got a very good grade on it. And obviously my memory's not as fresh now as it was way back then. So anyway, hope I described it well today. Now, my second experience was after my dog Clancy had died. It was 3 weeks after she had died, and it was the night of a full moon, and I had a series of lucid dreams. I had 3 lucid dreams in a row, all involving Clancy. And I think when you have 3 lucid dreams in a row, it does something like opens up a gateway in the mind or something. It allows you into like the spirit realm or the astral plane, or there's more planes than I thought. For a long time, I called it the astral plane, but it turned out that wasn't really the correct term, because there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different types of planes. One's called the etmic, ETMIC, or like spirit plane. It's just the realm of pure consciousness where we exist in consciousness only with no body. So the experience with Clancy was, it had been 3 weeks since she died. She was 13 years old. She had congestive heart failure. We had to have her put down because her quality of life had just really deteriorated too far. And so it was a really sad thing. And I felt like, when we had come home from the vet, like her spirit was with us still. Like she hadn't really gone, passed on to the other realm, or to the next life or whatever, to her next incarnation. She was kind of like just stuck. Like her energy was like stuck here because she didn't know what had happened. She didn't know she had died. She thought she was still alive. And it was like, I felt bad. For a while, actually, for like these 3 weeks, I was walking around and just petting air, like, oh, hey, Clancy. Because I was like, I thought, oh my God, she must feel horrible that, she's trying to get my attention, and I, I'm ignoring her. So I would like try to like give her some attention and be like, okay, she's still here, and, maybe put a bowl down or something, even though, she was dead. So it was very, very tough time, those 3 weeks. And then, like I said, on the night of a full moon, after a series of 3 lucid dreams, all involving Clancy, I had another one of those type of dark gymnasium type experiences, only this one was much better. It didn't involve any dark entities. I was kind of traveling like down a river. It's an analogy. I don't have the proper words to describe the experience, so I'm just trying to use the best terms that I can. It felt like I was like kind of like floating down a river or swimming down a river, and I could see Clancy. We were both like struggling in the waters and like trying to meet and get to each other. And then there was like an island off to the side. And I was like, go to the island. Let's go to the island and we'll meet there. And then so we did that. So we got to the island, and then we were able to have an actual like conversation in our minds, not like using your voice and talking. It wasn't like my dog was like speaking to me with her mouth. We were in pure spirit form, and we were just communicating telepathically. So she was like, I'm sorry, Daddy, or I miss you, or something like that. And so I told her everything was going to be okay. We would always be together, that we would find each other in the next life somehow, and that to go into the light, and don't worry, it was okay, that everything would be okay, and that it was really beneficial for her to move on to her next incarnation. And then after that, everything kind of, by the way, when I woke up, you guys can probably see me tearing up a little bit right now, and this was 6 years ago, but at the time when I woke up after that, it seemed like she had moved on, that she wasn't here anymore. Like I didn't sense her presence here like I did before that. She wasn't stuck anymore. She had moved on. So the tears were actually kind of a mixture of joy and sadness. I was happy, that I had been able to communicate with her and tell her it was okay, and that made me feel better, but at the same time I was sad about the whole thing. So that was my second experience. Now my third experience, I can't really classify. I don't really know if it was astral projection or if it was kind of like a prophetic dream, a dream that foretells the future. So here's what happened in my third experience. I was on vacation in not too far from London. It was over near Greenwich, England, just outside of Greenwich, England, which the prime meridian runs through Greenwich, England. So like ley lines are kind of tied into this ley line energy. And it was right around the summer solstice. It was like June 20th, like the day before the summer solstice. I was asleep in bed. It was in the morning, just before time to get up. And I felt like I was like, I had floated out of my body, and I was in the hallway just outside the room, the hotel room, and I could see room service, the people, bringing the cart down with breakfast. They were coming down to the room. And it was like, oh, here they come. And then like either I zipped back into my body or whatever, and then woke up, and I was like, oh, it was an odd experience. What was that? And I reached over to the nightstand to pick up my watch and look at the time to see what time it was, because I was kind of hungry and I was wondering when breakfast was really coming in. Even before I even like picked up the watch or was able to see the time, just as I picked up the watch, before I even looked at it, I hear a knock on the door. Room service. So what was that, right? It was definitely something. Something was going on there. Did I have a dream that told me, hey, room service is on the way, buddy. You got to get up. You got to go get it. Go get breakfast. Or was I out of my body and I saw them coming down the hall? Which one was it? I don't really know. Let you guys decide, what you think. So those were my 3 experiences with astral projection, possibly 2. The third one again couldn't really tell. Now lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is very, very easy. I've been doing this since I was 19. I was in college at the time, the first time I did it, and I read a book or something. I don't know where I found this out. Actually, I don't think it was a book, but anyway, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is look around yourself, like 2 or 3 times a day, preferably 3. I'm a big fan of numerology, and the number 3 is very big for me. All multiples of 3 are, but at least 3 times a day, look around your surroundings and ask yourself, how do I know I'm not dreaming right now? And just look around for a sign that you're dreaming. And if you do this every day during waking life, it's only a matter of time before you're going to do it in a dream. And when you're in the dream, you really will see something that's out of place, that doesn't quite add up. And then, boom, it's like a light bulb goes on. I'm dreaming. So it's really a good experience. The first time I did it, I was in college, and I came across a set of stairs that went like straight up into the sky, almost like just, there was no angle or slope or anything. It was just like straight up. And I was like, these stairs are so steep. How can this be? No stairs could possibly be this steep. And then it was like, boom, all of a sudden I knew I was dreaming. And then when you know it's a dream, you have greater control over it. You can influence things in a way that you can't when you're not aware that it's a dream. Because when you're not aware it's a dream, it's not much you can do. It's pretty much like ordinary life. It's all out of your control. But when you know it's a dream, you can do things like you can fly, just you can influence people in the dream, like telepathically. It's just, I don't know, it's just very, it's almost like being in a virtual reality like game that you have almost complete control over. You don't have total control because you are in the realm of your subconscious, and your subconscious does kind of sometimes take on a life of its own, and it does like to play tricks on the conscious mind. So even though you know it's a dream, still sometimes funny things happen. You can actually, there's 2 different types of astral projection. I should say astral projection and astral travel are very different. You can just like leave your body and do like short range, like stay around, your surroundings, go visit a coworker or a friend or a family member or something. That's astral projection. Then you could go to another planet or another world or the stars. That's long range. That's astral travel. Now, I've seen on Ancient Aliens, I've seen a few people say that we all have like a built-in Stargate in our mind, our pineal gland. Your pineal gland, your third eye, is the key to psychic development. So, if you build up your pineal gland, you're supposed to be able to do all kinds of psychic things. So, I think that I may have, in some of these lucid dreams, or after having a series of lucid dreams, I may have visited other places. I think other people in the group have said they've had experiences where they see really bizarre landscapes with all kinds of colors. I think that's happened to Olga too. It's happened to me a lot. I've had dreams where I was like getting on like a ship, kind of similar to like an X-Wing fighter from Star Wars or something, and then leaving the planet and flying off into the atmosphere. And I've never experienced anything like that in real life. So why would I dream that, right? Well, I've never experienced it in real life in this lifetime, I should say. So when I have those dreams, it could be past life recollection. I could be projecting out to the stars and visiting a counterpart or somebody that I know out there, or that I knew from a past life out there. Who knows, right? These are experiences that are very unique. You really can't put words around them. The proper words just don't describe them properly. So anyway, that's my rant for tonight, guys. I kept this one, I think, hopefully a lot shorter than the last one, and I didn't have all the technical problems that I was running into last time. So peace and love always. Love you guys. Namaste. Blessed be.